Hey, it's Tom from Pack Hacker, and in this video we're going to be comparing the Air Day Sling 3 with the Air City Sling 2. I've tested both of these slings, so let's dive in and check out every little detail between them. Let's jump in. All right, so the first thing you may notice with both of these slings is their overall shape. The Day Sling 3 looks a little bit larger, but is a little bit thinner. The City Sling is more of a streamlined and rectangular shape. Both of them have some interesting gusseting, so the Air Day Sling 3 has kind of a triangular shape, and it will stand up on its own when there's stuff inside of it, and it'll fold down and be thinner if not. Whereas the top is a little thinner. So you can see it's kind of a triangular shape in terms of the construction. Now the City Sling 2 is more rectangular. It has this similar gusset to the Air Day Sling 3, but it happens on both sides and not just one. And then we have additional compression that's happening on the sides here, or that can happen to give it a more streamlined look. As far as the carry and the straps go, the Air Day Sling 3 is more focused on travel, and the City Sling 2 is more focused on just daily use. So one of the big earmarks for that is the positioning of this buckle. So if you're wearing a travel backpack on your back, having this buckle on the side on the Air Day Sling 3 allows you to wear this comfortably like so, and that buckle isn't sticking in to your back. So I've got a nice clean strap on the back. Now if we look at the Air City Sling 2, that buckle is smack dab in the middle. It's also a little bit thicker and a little more robust. So if you take a look at the difference there, that's pretty much in the middle. Now you can shove it to the side, but it's fine here. But if you're wearing it with a travel backpack, that buckle is right against your back, and then you got the travel backpack on too. So you're gonna feel that a little bit in your back. Not as bad as you'd think when looking at the buckle, but it's still there. As far as the straps themselves go, this is let's talk about these first. They're both magnetic. I believe they're both fidlock. Yes, they are. I like the Air City Sling 2's fidlock a little better in terms of it just staying a little more locked. It's a little bit bigger. It does come off quite easily, but for some reason, I've had the Air Day Sling 3's strap come undone without me necessarily wanting it to, more so than the Air City Sling 2. Now, it's never happened like when I've been wearing it, but just if it gets caught on something and I'm trying to pull it from the strap, like imagine if this was like a car seat belt thing, you know, it's pretty easy for that to come undone. Whereas with the City Sling 2, since you have more slack on each side, I don't think that happens quite as often. I didn't run into that when I was testing. City Sling 2 has two pieces of plastic hardware that manage the strap so they can come down. And then this can also be stowed as well. So it is nice, like you can shift where this buckle is a little bit, like if you keep one side completely tight and the other a little more loose, that buckle can be in like a different position if you don't want to like right in the center of your chest as you're using it. So you have nice versatility there. On the Day Sling 3, you just have this one adjustment strap, which I think is plenty. And for travel, it's a little bit more low key, which I can really appreciate as well. Air City Sling 2, you can stuff things away. I'm really hoping I don't mess up the names between these two. If I do, hopefully you'll be able to tell them apart. So the City Sling 2, you can stuff that strap away inside, and all of a sudden, you've just got like a little pouch that you can put inside of your bag if you'd like. It goes in this side too. I guess I could do it for you on video. All right, so that's stuffed into the side like so. And you can see you have a nice little compact pouch now that you can carry either by the handle like this or just on the side, stick it in your backpack, things of that nature. Compression buckles on the side of the City Sling 2 can keep it looking a little bit cleaner, or you can really let it expand. But you can pull it down and give it a slimmer profile, a little bit of a better look too. Now we have some aluminum hardware on the City Sling 2 as well, whereas we have mostly plastic going on in the Day Sling 3. You know, I think the Day Sling 3 feels a little bit lighter, but I don't think you really need that metal here, and it's pretty light as it is too, but you know, a bit of a difference in the feel. The City Sling 2 just feels a little higher quality with that metal compared to the plastic that we see on the Day Sling 3. It's kind of a digression. Probably didn't need to really go into that, but I'm going to try to give you all the details between the two. So that covers the strap system. Both of them have handles. So at the top here, like I was showing earlier, City Sling 2 has a handle and the Day Sling 3 has it in the back. I like the handle on the City Sling 2 a little bit more because you can see I'm more comfortably carrying it. It's easier to grab. Day Sling 3 is kind of behind like this. So you can grab it from here, but it's kind of weird to carry. It's got like a weird, you know, you're kind of imbalance here, and if there's stuff in it, it's not the greatest. But it's fine. I rarely use it in that way. Little loop here, if you want to, you know, carabiner this to the outside of your travel pack, you can do that. Or you want to hang it out with like a hero clip or on a carabiner or on a hook or something like that. The City Sling 2, I guess you could do that through the handle if you wanted, because you have a little bit more room there. Okay, I think that covers most of the exterior features. So now let's move on to the inside of both of these. Starting with the signature design element in the front, the Air YKK AquaGuard zipper that goes right across the middle on the City Sling 2 and about on the top third of the Day Sling 3. Love the rule of thirds. It's very much at play here. Both of them have a Hypalon zipper garage on the side, which helps keep additional moisture and gunk out of the pocket, because these big zippers don't quite close all the way to the edge of the zipper coil. A little bit of space is left on the outside, so that helps with that. Now, one of the things that the Day Sling 3 has that I appreciate is you have these little handles here for when you're zipping and unzipping this thing. City Sling 2, you don't have that, but I mean, you can just as easily kind of grab it by the aluminum compression buckles here. I'm just going to loosen these back up so we get to the main compartment. It really opens up. They both have keychains on the inside. So right here, we like to put our tags in here when we're not testing so we can keep track of what's what. Here we just have these key clip buckles. Let's look at the length a little bit, actually. I do like the Day Sling 3's length a little bit more in terms of the keychain length. I think this gives you a little bit more space to actually utilize this thing, you know, while you're wearing it. So if I'm wearing it down here, which is where I like to wear it, not in sport mode up here, right? Like with Crocs, you go into sport mode or you go into like lounge mode. I feel like it's the same thing here. Like you got lounge mode here and then sport mode here. But when I'm in lounge mode with this thing, I can have my keys here and I can reach my door pretty comfortably. Now, if we're doing that same action with the City Sling 2, which typically I'll wear, let me just loosen this up here, just bear with me a sec. This I'm usually wearing a little bit more in sport mode. It doesn't really, you know, lend itself to hanging down by your side quite as much based on how the strap is angled on here. Like the strap is right down the middle, whereas the Day Sling 3, it's a little bit angled as you can see. But this, I mean, I feel like I'm not really, you know, I'm making a bigger reach. I'm leaning in to unlock my, my door there while I'm utilizing that key clip. Again, super like minor thing, but figured I'd mention it for you. Pockets themselves are pretty similar. Inside of the Air City Sling 2 that really splits open and gives you a lot of volume. The Day Sling 3, it just goes down to the bottom here. And you can kind of see with that shape, the reason it does that is you just got more space, right? It's triangular. So up here it's tapering off, so you can't go up there, but you can go way down here, and that's what gives it that triangle shape, is that volume on the back side. Slide it up. Now let's look at the hidden pocket in the back of the Day Sling 3 and the back of the City Sling 2. Day Sling 3, you have a nice gusset here. Everything is relatively secure. There's a Hypalon zipper pull, lays flat, opens up, and then you have space both at the top and at the bottom. If you have flatter items like a passport, that can totally fit just fine in here. Same with the City Sling 2. If you have like a notebook or a passport, that can go in the back. And you can see this is accessible from the top, accessible from the top, and we can just put things inside. I've just got a passport here actually, so let's compare. That goes in. You've got like a little space up here at the top. With the Day Sling 3, that goes in and kind of goes right below this gusset here in the middle. But then you have the space at the top too, so you could even throw your passport in here vertically if you wanted to. Get that extra space. Also harder for someone to get it out. A little less noticeable in there. Okay, moving on to the main compartment. I do love the Hypalon zipper pull here. You can stow it over. You wouldn't even know there's a pocket there unless you looked with that gusset there, which I dig. Same with this. I mean, really, you know, with the City Sling 2, it's designed kind of that way too. A little less so. The gusset is less pronounced. It's a little bit thinner. If we look at it there on the camera, thicker there on the Day Sling 3. All right, now getting into the fun stuff, the main compartment. Let's do a little jingle test. I'd say the City Sling 2 is a little more jingly than the Day Sling 3. But again, air has really improved. I mean, if we look at the zipper pulls, they're smaller on the Day Sling 3. Air has really improved that by putting in the this paracord and wrapping it around. Let me get this to focus. There we go. The paracord is wrapped around the metal, so you're not hearing metal on metal. You're hearing metal on paracord. Used to be like super jingly, so I'm glad they've seemed to have fixed this. All right, opening up the main compartment so we can compare each of these side by side. Day Sling 2, 2 mesh pockets in the front, 2 mesh pockets in the back, ample space on the inside, right? That's that triangular shape, really getting a lot of space from that base. YKK locking zipper here, zippered pocket there, space back here for like a notebook. If you look at the City Sling 2, you have 2 mesh pockets up here at the front, a liner pocket here in the front too. If I recall, a passport fits right in here, so perfectly in there. That's a little bit more secure because it's in the main zipper and it's in another pocket. Field notes will also go in there. I'll take this out so don't forget about my passport. Happens more often than you think. You accidentally leave it in there and then it's just stowed away and you're like, where did I put it? As we're testing all the bags. All right, so good main compartment space in here too if I'm gonna try to give you a side-by-side comparison to look at each of them. So yeah, definitely the City Sling 2 just feels more rectangular. Zippered pocket here in the back, which is a little bit smaller than what we see in the Day Sling 3, and that has to do with like just the surface area of both of these slings. You just have more to work with the Air Day Sling 3. Air City Sling comes up, maybe there's like a quarter extra space here on the Day Sling 3 to work with. And then there is a pocket back here as well where you can just slot in additional things. As far as like carrying a Nintendo Switch goes, I like it a little bit more in the City Sling 2 just because it's got like that right size for it. Does work in the Day Sling 3 as well, but I don't know why it just feels better in the City Sling 2. Yeah, I mean, these are both great slings. Again, if you're gonna be doing one bag traveling and you're gonna be having this sling with you when you have a travel backpack on, definitely go Day Sling 3. If you are, you know, if you like the look and the functionality and kind of these side compression straps and like maybe a little bit more of a slick look too, because you can stow away these straps very easily and you're doing more of that everyday carry thing with the sling, then this might be your jam here on the side. So thank you for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. This has been the Air City Sling 2 versus the Air Day Sling 3, and we will see you in the next video.